Welcome to episode 112 of the Guardian 1 podcast. We record live Thursdays at 8 p.m. Pacific, 11 Eastern, right here on twitch.tv/Guardian 1 Network. My name is Remy, and tonight I'm joined by Jez.
Good morning, and maybe good night, because my power might go out.
Sharks.
Coming to you live from my Blue Yeti! Not yet.
And Gray.
Good evening, everybody.
We are going to be talking about all things Destiny, but first, housekeeping.
Hello, Guardians. Thank you for listening in on the podcast, however it is that you are choosing to listen. Be sure to follow Guardian 1 on Twitter, at G1Net. That's G, the number 1, N-E-T. In addition, be sure to check out the Guardian 1 website at guardian1.net. If you want to send us an email, you can send it to feedback@guardian1.net. If you do a search on budget.net for Guardian 1, you'll find our forums group, which we also use for both comments and feedback. Big thank you to all those currently in the Twitch chat. As Remy said at the top of the podcast, you can watch the show live at twitch.tv/Guardian1Network. We broadcast every Thursday at 11 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Pacific. If you can't catch the show live, you can always search for the Guardian 1 podcast on iTunes, as well as the Guardian 1 YouTube channel at youtube.com/Guardian1Network. Guardian 1 is a proud member of the Guardian Radio Network, so be sure to check out the Guardian Radio Network website at theguardiansofdestiny.com. There you'll find all the different podcasts as part of the network, including the flagship podcast, Guardian Radio. They broadcast every Monday night at 8:30 p.m. Eastern, 5:30 p.m. Pacific on twitch.tv/Guardian Radio. You can also follow their Twitter account at GuardiansOfD and their YouTube channel, youtube.com/GuardiansOfD. Other podcasts that are part of the Guardian Radio Network include previous episodes of TTL Party Chat and Robust Radio. There's also a podcast called Ghost and Echoes, which contains a bit of fan fiction and audio versions of the Grimoire cards found within Destiny. That's it for housekeeping. I'll see you again soon.
Alrighty, thank you very much, Hollow River. I want to get to all of the exciting new things, but I want to wrap up last week's Iron Banner and the new Crucible connections. First off, I'd like to start off by saying that the people who are working on this game at Bungie, they're people. So when somebody like Eric Osborne tweets out, hey, how are you guys doing? Or are you enjoying this aspect? And then you respond with just remove CBM or remove SBMM now. You're a jerk. You're a jerk. Like if you are responding to a person who is willing to communicate with you on some level, and your message back to them is a demand that they do something for you, you're a jerk. I'm glad that I've seen much less of that. Since they decided to ease off on the skill-based matchmaking. I was a little bit worried because I feel like there was this whole other level of players that I could have been matched against that would have made my experience less fun. And I am pleased to report that I am one of those people that I was scared of. The only thing that has changed for me since this new level of connection, this new widening of the net, the only thing that's happened for me is my KD is more solid, and I've won more games, and you interested in it. I will I will if that's what I'm doing, hanging out with friends. Hey, we're gonna go hang out in the Crucible. I'll go and do that. But it's few and far between. So my Skype says it's not responding. I'm thinking that I'm probably frozen and that no one can hear me because I can't hear
Nope.
anyone.
You're good.
If we were talking, you'd hear us.
Okay. Well, I don't know. Everyone was frozen. It looks like you were messing with me. But so yeah. So everything has been one of those people. Like I'm thinking that the curve goes. The really really sucky people are very small amount, and then it goes up into like people who know what they're doing in video games but aren't great, and then it goes back down to represent how many really excellent players there are. A very small portion are really, really excellent players. And so I'm somewhere close to the top. I mean, I'm not saying I'm a great Crucible player, but I'm saying that because I play so defensively, because I choose my encounters wisely, my KD is inflated like crazy. And so I keep getting put up against all of these really great players. Well, there wasn't that many more great players above me than there was lower players below. So Gray, have you noticed a difference since they changed the way you connect to matchmaking in Destiny? Has it become harder for you, or has it become easier for you, or have you noticed no difference?
I would say I've noticed no difference, but I've played less Crucible in the last couple weeks than I had been prior, so my sample size is probably too small to make a really good assessment.
Got it. So did you play Iron Banner last week?
I did. And I made rank 5 on 2 of my characters, but it's a little bit different. So I didn't play it on Xbox, which is what I normally play on. I only played it on PlayStation, and I don't have as much history of the player base on PlayStation since I'm relatively new to that. So I think it's still kind of figuring out what bracket I'm supposed to be in. And we were playing with full teams of Guardian 1 people, so that kind of skewed our Crucible rank average. Was probably weighted based on the other individuals and less on me because there's less history on me.
You know, Agrios has made note on a number of occasions that when you go in as a team, even just two people going in as a team, they weight that very heavily, and so the people you get pitted up against are a greater force. So it's interesting to hear your actual playtime. Sharks, what about you? When you played Iron Banner last week, did you notice a big increase in really great players, or a big increase in really not great players, or did you notice no difference?
Okay, so I saw an increase in not so great players, I guess is the easiest way of putting it, because I did see more go up against more teams that the players weren't as good overall. But I mean, that was, I expected that to happen. For Rift, I'm pretty good at Rift anyways, so I didn't really expect to be put into any kind of bracket where people are going to dominate. And so I didn't really see that. I mean, there were games that I played where the other team did win. I played quite a bit of solo games. I played a lot of team games, multiple people on the teams too, just to see kind of what the difference was. But as far as quality of players, I didn't see a huge difference as far as better players. But that's just it. Like I say, it's because it was Rift. It had been something else, I'm sure I would have noticed that a lot more and been a little bit more frustrated because I know it's out there. What I did notice from the Iron Banner, though, was that the connections still suck. I listen to we listen to a lot of other podcasts, and we listen to a lot of people online and hear what the reports are, and it's kind of hit and miss on what other people were reporting. Some people were saying they weren't seeing that at all, but I mean, there are people out there that don't see any connection problems ever anyways. They're just really lucky with who they're being put up against. But I did notice that it didn't fix the connection problems. I mean, there were games I had great connections with people. And it should be like that all the time. I don't have bad internet. I have really good internet. So that was kind of disappointing. But again, not a surprise, just because it's been that way pretty much since when Destiny came out. We've always had these lag problems. We just notice it a lot more now because, there's a big red bar on the screen you can look at. But I also did notice playing against people that are not in my area a lot more. And I know that this has been a big complaint from some people, other people not so much, but I've heard a lot of people complaining about being put up against people from other countries. And of course, when that happens, the quality's not going to be there. The ping from here to the UK is going to be crap compared to the ping right in your local area. But I did notice that. I was kind of surprised on that. And it's more than just in PvP too. For instance, I know for a fact that I'm not in Triple Rec's server, but today I was visited by Triple Rec in the tower. Him and Fitz and his whole crew were in the tower, and they were screwing around. And at first I was like, oh, who the hell is this coming up around me? And I ran over. I was in with Gurufu, and I ran over to the board. And then they all surrounded me, and they're like waving and dancing and bowing. I was like, oh, okay, it's Triple Rec's crew. And that's kind of interesting that they have changed the matchmaking that much, that they're not relying on your server anymore. Whether it's good or bad, I don't know. I think we need some more time to really check it out, but I noticed some changes for sure. As I rambled on an hour, sorry.
I feel like I found more people that have Red Bar since they've made connection a bigger part than they had before. Like less skill, more connection. I feel like I've found more people that Red Barred. And actually, I've Red Barred. What's interesting is I'll play with my son and my dad, and I will be Red Barred, but my son will not be Red Barred. He will be green. We're both connected to the same router. So I don't understand that. I don't know what's going on, but I don't know what's going on with any of this. Did you get anything cool from Iron Banner, Sharks?
Literally, I only played Iron Banner just to play Iron Banner, to do something different. And a lot of people, it's been kind of sparse up until this last week with people playing. So just anything new. So I mean, gear wise, I could care less on the gear. I literally just played to play and play with people. For instance, I got to play quite a bit with Gray on one of the days, and it was a blast. It was awesome.
Gray's awesome. Gray, did you get to rank 5 so that you could get one of those that piece of gear that he had or that she had, or were you just, I don't know, trying to hurt yourself, masochist?
Oh no. So I'm not at max light yet on the PlayStation. So the drops are very valuable, even if it's just for infusion fodder. So no, I was playing for not any specific gear. I did pick up that I can't even remember what it's called. The Distant Star, is that what it was? What the rank 5 one was?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I did pick it up. I actually haven't infused it up yet or tried it out, because once I picked it up I had switched over and started playing back on Xbox. But no, it was trying to get my character up. I've now got my Titan and my Hunter up in the 370 range, so pretty good for raiding, at least normal mode, and being carried in hard mode.
That's cool. Yeah, I have a weird relationship with the Iron Banner now, because I can't just save up bounties throughout the week and then just play through a couple of games at the end and then get to where I need to be to rank 5. Like you actually have to win in order to get anywhere. If you lose 9 in a row, you're not getting anything for 4 of those games, like nothing. You've not made it any further, and so now, like, I wanted to get to 5 on both systems to pick up that distant star, but as I was looking at it, I just really felt like, when am I going to use this? When am I going to want to use a full auto scout rifle that isn't my super sweet 47? Like, I looked at that and I thought, I could keep trying to get to 5 and then erase something, dismantle something so I could fit this in here. But am I going to want to use it over this? It's not even max stability. It was not even max stability. So that's going to bother me. And so I don't know, like, I had a really good time this last Iron Banner, but I feel like it was because there wasn't anything keeping me there. Like, I don't have to get to rank 5 if I don't want that specific piece of gear. All I have to do is complete those bounties to get those pieces of gear, and then all I have to do is just keep playing and waiting for random drops. Like, I got a bunch of really cool 400 pieces of gear that I just infused into other things because they were just crap. So it's I had a really good time. I enjoyed Rift. For the most part, I just played my role, which is I've moved it further from just a goalie to kind of a flanking position, and then if things go wrong and the other team gets it, then I run back to the goal. It's amazing how many people on your team do not go back to defend your Rift. Like, I'm so surprised that sometimes I am the only person there, and I'm the one who stops them. Like, I find it hard to believe how many times I'm the reason that they did not score a point. Like, I don't know if they're just kids, or if they're idiots, or if
they might also be just trying to catch him before he gets the carry points.
Maybe
all the carry points.
Maybe,
if
but the problem with that is that I will be the only person. I will kill this person. I will stop them, and I won't see anybody. There will be none of my friends in visual range at all. And so I don't know. I know it takes a couple of seconds to respawn. But yeah, so overall I had a really good time. I want to get to rank 5, but it's no vault space, blah, blah, blah. And also, just look for the drops. Just finish those bounties and then move on to another character. Jez, did you play Iron Banner?
I was hoping you would just say, did you get to rank 5? And then I was going to go into a spiel about, I'm rank 3 and I'm hoping to get more in so I can get to rank 5 to get that package. It's like, now I can't do that because you came with the wrong opener. But no, I didn't play Iron Banner. I'm not a fan of Rift, really, because it's a very, I don't know how to describe it. It's the most sporting version of Crucible.
Yeah.
Because it's literally help your dude carry the ball, or stop the dude carrying the ball. And it's like, at that point, it just feels more like I'm playing a sports game with guns instead of tackling.
I really like it. Like, the way you just described that, I'm sold.
Yeah,
sounds like a lot of fun to me.
It might work for you, but it feels very yes, it's a team-oriented game, but it seems very like, here's this one dude and he's got all the responsibility.
Yeah.
So I don't know, it feels very like you're putting the focus on one person, so it doesn't feel as team-oriented, even though it totally is. It's the most team-oriented version of the Crucible modes.
I see what you're saying, and I feel like that's only really a bummer when you don't have anybody on your team who knows who wants to get the spark. Like, if you don't have people on the team who want to get the spark, or if you're versus a team that was just going to mow over your team anyways. Like, I lost many games. And that's what it came down to. There was actually a couple of games where my team came out super strong and it looked like we were going to be the dominant team, and then we just got crushed. I wish I could have seen the look on those other people's faces when this team came and knocked them over, grabbed the spark, ran it to the thing, and then And then they came back like they're like, oh, well, we can't just, this is what people are complaining about. This is what those people are complaining about, is that they actually had to try against a team that they knew that they could beat if they tried. Sharks, you had something?
Here's the non-sports version of it. It's like matchmaking a rock band. And good luck on who's the lead singer.
That's a great point.
Okay, so bar Jez saying that, it wasn't his most favorite, and obviously you're going to get that anyways, but I noticed from the community as a whole a lot, they embraced it a lot more now than they did the first time Rift came. Do you all think that is because people have gotten used to playing Rift, i.e. maybe the same thing would happen if Supremacy came back as an Iron Banner, or is it because of lack of people that are playing at the moment, or a combination of both?
Can I throw a third option at you?
Sure.
That everyone thought, Iron Banner, Supremacy brought it down. Oh, look, it's going back up because it's Rift.
Maybe.
I will go along with that. That one sounds really good. Because that's kind of what I feel. Because before Supremacy was around, Rift was my least favorite Iron Banner mode. So you're totally right. Like, I enjoy Rift so much more now that I know how much lower it can get. I like that, Jez. That makes a lot of sense. Yeah, I don't know. Pig Jockey, what's up? All right, so I just wanted to finish that up. Looking forward to more Iron Banner. Looking forward to more Destiny. Let's play some Destiny. Moving on. What do we have left? Oh, the Dawn. Okay, so this
Dawn.
is what.
Dawn. All we got was the Dawn. Try that again.
This is
actually. I have to realize I'm looking at like the little preview that I get, and all I see is Bremy, and then he freezes. So I'm like, wait, I gotta flip to Skype to see if everyone else is not seeing that.
Oh man, look at the stupid face I was making. I had my eyes closed. I was like, ah. So
the Dawning.
So the Dawning. I want to start off with single word and a 4 out of 5 stars. So for me, I feel like the Dawning is excellent, and I'm going to give it 4 out of 5 stars because, we'll talk about because in a second. Gray, one word, and 4 out of, and how many stars?
Yes. Come on.
We know you got a voice in there somewhere. It might be near that mute button.
Yeah, it's near that mute
Darn.
button.
Right. I'm going to say it is petite, and I'm going to give it 4 stars as well.
Sharks?
Finally. And 4 stars.
Jez?
Whelming?
And how many stars?
3.5.
3.5 stars. I would say that this is a market improvement over Festival of the Lost, and because I feel so strongly about this being a very good, a very nice chunk of something for us. I feel like, where the hell did they go wrong with Festival? Like, this is kind of what I expected out of Festival. So we're getting.
You remember they're also doing this based off of feedback from Festival, so they probably added some, or maybe it's just.
No way. Not enough time. No way.
That would actually bother me more to know that they could turn that around that fast. Yeah, that would bother me more.
That's a month is long enough to. Well, what did they? They already had SRL, and then they added their Festival Lost. So it's just more that it's 2 events jammed together.
I even feel okay. That's fair. That's fair, Jez. I can't believe Whelming finally and Petite. That was not at all what I was expecting. I was expecting like good or great or bad.
Well, we have to elaborate on our words, right?
Yes.
I'm hoping, considering Petite got 4 out of 5. How about that?
I can't wait for that as well. Yeah, why don't you give us your breakdown, Gray? Explain Petite, explain 4 out of 5 stars, and then extrapolate on whatever it is that you feel like you want to say about this event.
Yeah, so I mean, it's good. The content that it is great, and it is certainly, it meets the expectation in my book of what a live event should be, given that live events happen more often than 2 or 3 times a year. I say petite because I don't think it's not super deep. There's not a ton of content. I think the way that they reskinned things, it's clear that they reskinned it with a different mindset than they did with the April update. So if you remember back when they did the April update reveal, they talked about how they didn't want the experience just to be the same experience of doing a similar strike and just having some of the enemies look different. They actually wanted that whole experience thought through from start to finish, and each part of it, unique, not necessarily the same. And I don't get that from this live update. I actually get those 3 strikes are just reskinned, some mechanics changed, but very much the same feel, the same encounters of what those 3 strikes had been. And that's where I say they didn't necessarily go to the same level of depth or even thoughtfulness in the way they manipulated those strikes. That's why I say petite. It's not bad. It certainly isn't bad. In fact, I prefer things. Sharks has got a strange look on his face.
Yeah, I will have to ask you. Never mind, Sharks. What were you gonna say?
No, I'm waiting. Continue.
Okay,
You're
Sharks
waiting.
is waiting. Continue.
Okay. Yeah, so it just, I would say that you can play through the content relatively quickly. It's a good feel. It got 4 out of 5 stars, but I think that it is on the skinny side.
Sharks, you would like to comment on that and then add your own thoughts?
Okay, my comment on it is it's free, Gray. It's free.
I think we paid
This
for
is
it
true.
during the last live event.
Well, somebody did. It wasn't me.
Okay,
Oh,
so
judging by
anyways,
the tower,
that's
I'm
all
pretty
I'm
sure.
gonna say.
Pretty
Stay
sure it's
off
already
of
getting
that's
money.
great. What's that?
I said, judging by the tower, this event's making its own money back.
Oh, maybe. I mean,
I agree.
I see people spending money. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I see where Gray's coming from as far as it being petite. Yes, there isn't much to it. I wasn't really expecting much, to be quite honest. I was expecting less than what we got. I had expectations, as in hopeful expectations, that certain things would happen that didn't. But other things like the strikes, I think them doing that, yes, it's very basic, but them doing that for free is worth it. I personally, I think it's really cool. The reason I personally said finally is Silver Dust Vendor. Silver
Yes.
Dust Vendor. Okay, that alone. So if all we got was Sparrow Racing League and the Silver Dust Vendor, and then of course the other crap that they normally have with Sparrow Racing League, that's kind of what I was expecting, but or hope as size wise, but we got a lot more than that. But I mean that Silver Dust Vendor that should have been here months and months and months and months and months ago. It takes away from the RNG bullshit. I'm gonna say it. I'm sorry. This is why we're not PG. It's because of me getting pissed off with Bungie making us spend money on R&D crap. But this is taken away from that. I mean, we're able to go in there and buy stuff. We can buy the Iron Lord stuff. The Days of Iron Ornament, which is what I've been waiting for, hoping that they would finally do. So I probably, when this event's over, will spend some money just to light up my character, because that's what I've been waiting for. As far as the event itself, I mean, again, I'll go back to agreeing with Gray. As far as it being petite, it's not. There's not really much to it as far as the Sparrow Racing itself. Two new maps. They're fun. You got your record book. That's awesome. That saved me $10. I didn't have to spend money on that this year. But if I want that gear, I'm going to have to spend money. I'm not going to get that gear. Definitely not going to get that gear on 3 characters, since I run 3 characters. But again, that's that's kind of typical the way the road has been going with Bungie and these updates. They want people to go and spend that RNG on that. I would have rather have seen that gear in that Silver Dust area where I could just spend on it. But I understand that they want to make money, and this is how they're going to make money. But I really enjoy the races. I've already finished my book as far as SRL. I'm done with that part. Moving on to the strike playlist part of it, I think it's really cool. It was really difficult for me to do this. I tried to stay as spoiler free as possible leading up to this, so I didn't really know what I was going into as far as the strikes. I knew that they had done some changes, and the first one I went into was the Nexus strike, and I had all kinds of weird shit happening to me, and I was like, what the hell's going on? And that's really cool. I think that's great. Them adding the point system, I don't know. I mean, I get it. It's something to work towards, especially with the book itself and having the the bounties, having the bounties for those specific strike things. It's really cool, but that this is where I agree with what Gray's saying is it's lacking. It's just here, we'll throw this stuff together and boom, there you go. But then I go back to it's free, we're not really paying for it. So, I mean, it's cool. I'm 75% done with my book. So I'll be done with my book before the end of the week. And then what do? You just go on and play some more, I guess. But I don't know. I've enjoyed it. I've been really happy with it. And because of the changes, I may even be willing to spend some money.
Oh, willing to spend some money.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong. I mean, Shark says he agrees with me. It's fun, right? It has replay value. I can see myself playing the strike playlist, trying to get a higher score than my friends, and having that competitive nature now and just running strikes. And I didn't have that necessarily before with this point system. It now has that. It's added some elements to the game, which makes it a little bit more intriguing. It is fun. I'm not dogging them for making it as small as it is. It's appropriate, especially if we got 4, 5 of these in a year. This would be awesome. Have one of these every couple months. That'd be great.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's.
I do want to add one thing, and this is actually not my thought, but I'm going to broaden on this thought. Our colleague Agrios, who is not here, we were playing one day, and he saw Ghost drop, and he was like, Ghost drop?
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, didn't you hear? I had heard that they were going to have the Sugary Ghost and the Sparkly Ghost dropping in SRL, and he kind of like went off, and he's like, that sucks. And I go, well, what do you mean? He goes, well, okay, think about it. So that's not even repurposing stuff. That's literally just grabbing something from another event, which has nothing to do with Winterfest, which is totally right. And they're throwing that in there to give to us as rewards. And that kind of sucks. And on top of it, his comment to this was, oh, so if they're doing that, does that mean we're not going to get a February version of this? Which, I don't know. That would kind of suck if we don't. No Crimson Doubles this year. Well, they're not giving away those shells, so maybe not.
Well, maybe they got new ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, but wouldn't they give you the opportunity to get the old ones in strikes?
They might.
Right. That's true. They might.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think if they had a PvP centric thing for Festival of the Lost, there probably would be these ghost shells dropping then too, because it's candy. Candy fits every holiday basically.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true. Candy does fit every holiday.
So I feel like maybe they'll come out with floral print ghosts for you Paisley lovers.
Yeah, those Paisley lovers. All right, Jez, why don't you give us your take on the Dawning?
So, as just basically a holiday event, yeah, it's a perfect size, perfect things to do, new things to do for the future. Which strike scoring is not like super important, I think. However, it does give you that metric. People were asking for DPS charts. It's kind of that. I do find it's kind of really annoying to do it like solo queue in the strikes now, because you're like, oh, I gotta get those rainbow medals, and some dude always takes your shotgun kill.
Yeah.
So, as far as SRL, yeah, it's back. 4 maps, so decent. And there doesn't seem to be. I can't remember. Lost train of thought. But there doesn't seem to be like a super incentive to get the rank 5, except for that free RNG package, which I do have to say that I was kind of annoyed that my first RNG package, that free one they gave me random, what was it? It was the year 2 exclusive armor, I think, or year 1 PlayStation exclusive armor with Chroma. And I'm like, I'd rather the new stuff. I don't want this again. So
Sure.
I was kind of depressed by that. Not depressed.
Okay, so I feel so bad for Jez, because anybody that opens those packages and you get crap, it is so disheartening. That's how I felt during
Festival of the Lost.
Festival of the Lost. Yeah, I was really bummed, and I came in with much lower expectations, and I'm glad I have, because I've gotten one piece of new armor out of 3 packages so far. But obviously people can have great luck at this too. Guru Fu today got her first package, right? And I was like, and she's like, well, what kind of stuff do you get? And I was like, oh, well, here, and she looked at it, and I was like, watch, you'll probably get something awesome. Like, that's the sparrow you want. And she goes, well, whatever. She got the awesome sparrow. And I was like, you gotta be kidding me. See, the luck. It's that, and that's where it sucks. Like I say, I feel bad for Jez. I feel bad for anybody that opens those packages up. And then again, going back into spending money on this stuff too. People, they want it so bad, and then they start spending all this money and still don't get it too. But yeah.
I just realized I've had 2 packages. So I guess the first one was the Scarlight helmet. The second one was that old style gold sparrow, which is kind of alright. Yeah. But it's also the old style. Not as interesting to look at.
Yeah, that's true. I was looking at that as well, and I thought that same exact thing. Like, well, this is all right. Like, I can get on board with something like that bit smash or whatever it's called, where there's like just little flecks of digital colors running up the front of it. That's cool.
That's not what it is. You know that, right? That's what Guru Fu got. Okay, that bit smash, when you accelerate, the whole front end turns bright one color, then it changes another color and another color and another color. It is awesome looking.
Well, the description actually says Coast Red, Boost Blue.
It is badass. It is absolutely the preview of that sparrow does no justice to it at all.
Well, that's cool because I want it.
I wish they made a boost sparrow that you could do tricks on. Like, just get rid of the roll stabilizers, because that's really annoying.
Okay. Anything else you wanted to add about the event, Jez?
No, that's pretty much it. I have been rocking the old style, not the old style, but the yeller wing that actually isn't an iron yellowing.
Oh,
and
yeah.
That's nice.
That is nice.
Because then I can throw on my yeller horn and everything's yeller.
I'd like to see 2 things. I'd like to see sparrows take cosmetic damage. I think that'd be kind of cool.
Ooh, that would be really
And
cool.
One thing that Festival of the Lost got right that they should have brought forward, I want to ride a magic snow shovel.
That would have been pretty funny. Okay. So
did everybody get the special package?
yeah, that lame green sparrow.
So the reason I bring that up is because of what Gray just said about the broom. I was like, oh, are they gonna give us something really cool in that package? But that kind of disappointing there. I think
I haven't gotten it yet.
The only person I know that's going to be happy with that package is going to be the Exo Watermelon.
Yeah, Lays. He's way gonna like that.
I'm really
representing
confused
tonight.
by that package though, because the actual the color of the thing is Lysander's Cry and it's green sparrow. Do you remember in Festival of the Lost, one of the shaders that you got was Unquiet Spirit? I wonder if they're supposed to be related because it's also green.
Yeah. So hinting at some lore there, you think, Jez?
Well, it's Unquiet Spirit, Lysander's Cry. Lysander's dead. Spoilers.
Did he die in Bannerfall?
I think so.
Because that would make a lot of
That's the
sense.
lore. I don't know. I'll look.
Yeah, that would be great. Okay, so I feel like the Dawning is excellent. I feel like Bungie did excellent. I feel like if we had 4 of these a year, something where the tower changed significantly, there was I really like the idea of remix strikes. People say it's reskin, but it's not like they just took words that Cade and Ikora said to each other and then mixed them up to make this. Like they brought in a new script. I feel like this is a great way for them to move forward with parts of the story that might not fit into an actual DLC release, and so I really thought that this was fantastic. Granted, it could always be better. I always want more. Everybody always wants more. But to start off with, the snow in the tower is great. The mood in the tower is great. Sometimes there's a sun peeking through those clouds, but for the most part, it's all very muted. Like the whole tower feels like what it feels like when you've got just blanketed with gray clouds and snow on the ground. It feels fantastic, and this is something that I've wanted since the first Christmas times that we came through in Destiny. I really thought if you go back and listen to those episodes, this cutscene, and then there was no snow, and now there's snow, and it's fantastic. Every single time I hit the tower, I'm like, oh, this is great. Like, I'm so excited about this. Same exact feeling when I hit the tower and that Festival of the Lost, how it's like always night, and then the Traveler has that image projected onto it, and there's these weird colorful lights all around the place. Like, I want the tower to change 4 times a year. I don't even care what it's for. Bungie make up some new holidays, Halloween, holidays, and just pick 2 more. Pick 2 more and change the tower. Additionally, the music is really great. Like, I really feel like the music and the mood of the tower is fantastic. The dust vendor, the silver dust vendor, fantastic addition. Being able to pick up those sparrows, and I meant to go and buy 3 sparrow toolkits on each system because that's what I was missing, was 3 sparrows on each system, and I was just going to buy them because then I could have them. So glad that I forgot to do that, because now I can pick them up. 20 silver dust. This adds replay value, and it adds an actual value to silver dust, because I've already got the two ornaments that I wanted, which was Shock Hazard for the Zello Supercell and the Crucible Assassin for my Trespasser. That was all that I wanted. Every other one I've picked up, actually, you know what? That's sort of not true. I did enjoy picking up the the one that makes the wolves howl cracked and lava-y. That one looks really cool. But all the other ones, like, they're neat, but I don't really use other exotics all that much. It was probably the first thing to go out of my vault as soon as I hit that cap. It's nice to be able to swap out weaponry for specific situations, but for the most part, I only use a handful. So it's really cool for me to want to get more silver dust, for me to have more silver dust to buy other things. Reputation boosters, picking those up is really excellent. Those dusty engrams, like all of it just being right there is fantastic. A very great addition. The scored strikes is, I feel like you were really onto something there, Jez, but we haven't found the right words for it. But you're right. It's this thing that it pushes you, I've killed 2 guys. Well, maybe I can just find one more and get that medal. Like, there's something to that. There's something to that sound. There's something to that image popping up. It's one of those psychological things. I can't believe that they haven't had scoring like this in strikes before. I really hope it continues. Has anyone done a regular strike? Is it through all strikes, or is it just through the new ones?
It's through all strikes, but I think you have to go into a playlist to see it, because I've done the 320 versions of, like, the very specific strikes. I had to get it for that one quest. But you don't get any points racking up then.
Interesting.
I think it's only maybe it's just a heroic playlist, but it's probably both Siva playlists.
Siva one too.
That was really fantastic. It's a really fantastic addition. And you know what? I see what you're saying, especially if you're trying to get those rainbow medals. It's a bummer if you have people out there picking up all your kills, but
it's literally easier to just go into the Nightfall by yourself and farm that open area.
Absolutely. And I think it will continue to be. But here's the thing that I think is really great about it is it's pushing these other people to try harder. Like, I'm certain that there's still going to be AFKers, and I'm certain there's still going to be people who don't give a crap about that stuff. But I know that these other people who want these medals and want these things done, they're out there just mopping up. Like, usually when I play with Sharks and Agrios, they've killed most everything. I'm kind of just keeping an eye on both of them and picking up the riffraff. And it's nice. It's nice to have 2 people just going hog wild on the bad guys. It's a really great feeling. And these medals push those people that much further. I think that's really great. The addition of new and returning exotics, I feel like, is a really great way to push things around, especially since I've been so trespasser-centric lately. Once I do pick up that icebreaker, it will be great. I'll just be able to swap that out. I was actually thinking about going with the trifecta of trespasser, icebreaker, and damn it, I can't remember the name of that stupid fusion rifle. What is that? Not Plan C, but the purple one. The void one.
Universal remote?
Telesto?
Is that what you're thinking of, Remy? UW?
Telesto.
UW?
Universal remote. What is wrong with you? Yeah, Telesto. Because I really enjoyed my time with Telesto. So between those 3, I have all of the elements. I have all of the elements sitting on that one thing, on that one area, and that just really makes me happy thinking about how clean that is. And then if it doesn't matter, I could either have a fusion rifle or a sidearm or a sniper rifle. It's really great. I think it's really great. That's really awesome. The drop rate, I feel like the drop rate has been increased greatly in the RNG packages. I watched a video from DPJ, and I feel like within 60 packages, he got everything that he wanted. And I know that that's crazy, but when you consider this last event, people were opening up 100 of these packages and still not getting what they want. I think that we have gone into a much better realm. And additionally, because there's an opportunity to pick up one of these packages on each of your characters for each of the 3 weeks, I think that we're looking at that feels like a lot more to me. What? Why are you shaking your head?
You only get 1 per account for free, and then one for each level 5.
Right.
Oh, okay. Okay, well that's a lot less than I thought it was. But I feel like I'm going to be buying packages this time around. I want some of those sparrows. I want some of that gear. I think that it's really cool that they took rare items and made them chroma legendary. I think that that's really neat. I think I want the Titan set. I've really just been looking at hunter stuff for the longest time. I think that's cool. My dad is one of those lucky people. He got the helmet. He got the helmet for his warlock, the snow helmet for his warlock, and he was just wearing it like, oh yeah, I got that. I don't even know. It's no big deal. And I wanted to say to him, well, I don't know. I've got a list full of Twitter people who would tell you otherwise.
That gear is really cool. I'm very, very impressed. Like I say, okay, I've opened up 3 packages. 3? Yes, I've opened 3 packages, and I did get 1 piece of armor, and I got a chest piece, and it's on my hunter because I don't know if it's different on the other 2 characters, but that stuff's really cool. It glows just like the Days of Iron gear. That's awesome stuff. Absolutely awesome. I think they did a really, really good job on making something different for a change. It's so good that it will entice people if the drop rates have been up like you're saying they have. It will entice people to spend money. They'll be willing to spend the money to get it. It still sucks that it's RNG, but if they fix it, I don't know. We'll see. You'll have to do a test and let me know.
Yeah, I will let you know if I end up buying something. We got 3 weeks, so I don't know. I'm looking.
I did want to say one thing, Remy, because you said you really liked the music, and I don't know if people realize this. You can go and I think it's only this weekend. You can go and download that music from Bungie. So they tweeted it out. I think it was Bungie themselves that tweeted it out, not Bungie the game. Destiny the game, but don't quote me on that. But check on Twitter. Go to all the sites and you'll find it. They give links to it, and you can download it and put it in your iTunes or whatever you're listening to. It will go with the rest of my Destiny music for sure.
The links are available in the weekly update. I think it's in the second paragraph. So if you go to the weekly update, then there's the links to the music that you can download.
All right, cool.
Man, my computer keeps telling me that I don't have a connection, and that's really bumming me out. Can you guys hear me?
Most of the time.
Okay, good. So the drop rate is up. 4 of these a year would be really great. I just feel like this event was excellent. And this might be what you're talking about, Jez. Supremacy was right down here and sucking pretty bad. Oh, look at this rift. Hey, hello. But I don't know. I feel like they added enough content, and this goes even to when you get something that you don't want. Each of those pieces of gear that you don't want, they break down for 5 silver. So because there's other things I want for silver, even if I got a package with something that I didn't want, I could break that down for more silver and then go get something that I do want. I don't know if they're really going to want to add 6 sparrows every event, or a bunch of horns. I guess this would be an SRL specific thing, but I don't know. I feel like it was really great. Very nicely done, Bungie. I'm probably going to spend money on this, but you know what helps it for me is that there's so much to do that was just for free. They didn't charge us for the book. That was a really great thing. Like, you can just go and play and enjoy it and not have to worry about, I have to buy something in order to be participating in this event. And it feels different and it feels new. And I don't know, like, I hear a lot of talk about reskinning, but I see it, but I don't feel it. I feel like they actually put some real thought into this. So I don't know. Anyone else on the Dawning before we move on? Excellent. Let us move on to, I don't know. Gray, what do you want to talk about before we go?
Oh boy. As So, this is pretty big, and a lot of people are starting to wonder, as Sharks had suggested before, if we're going to get a February release, this being a little bit bigger than what we had probably initially expected from the dawning. My question would be, how long do you think the Destiny community has the grace that they're willing to give Bungie until the next live update? Do you think that we would be content if we didn't see something for 3 months? Till April? Do you think people would be furious?
I think February. It has to be something every couple months. Otherwise, it's just nothing.
If you don't get anything until April, this is what you're going to have. People will leave. People will leave and they'll find anything else to do. You cannot wait until April. You've got.
Do you remember do you remember the time between what was it? I guess it would have been April and then Taken King.
Right. That was,
or not Taken King, but Rise of Iron. Because it was
cool. There was nobody playing.
Yeah.
The thing is okay. We're talking about Sparrow Racing, the winter, the dawning, whatever you want to call it, festival going on right now until the beginning of January. So in reality, you're only talking 4 months, but 4 months is a long time, especially considering that we have already been in a stale environment for a very long time. The light level didn't change with this event, so people aren't coming back to chase anything. They're coming back to get their icebreaker. They're coming back to get their other exotics. Get a few things here and there, but that's not gonna. I mean, like I said, I was wrong. I'm not 75%. I'm 81% done with my book, and this came out on Tuesday. That the hardcore people that are coming back to play this game for the stuff that they're giving now, that's going to be done really fast, and then people are going to be like, boom, I'm out of here until you bring us something else. So 4 months is a very, very long time. If they release something in February, that will bring in a little bit more people. But I mean, there's a lot of talk. There's a lot of talk, and it's not just with what Gray's saying as far as will people stay? There's talking that they're not going to do anything until Destiny 2. And they're talking about Destiny 2 not being released. This is rumor stuff till September. Now I don't know if I totally believe that, because I think it was Scott, but maybe it was Chris, I don't remember. One of the two had said in an interview what they were going to be doing as far as kind of like the timeline. And whoever it was that said that they're going to have a big update, like an April update. But they can't wait until April and do nothing else. People leave. People are already gone. I mean, look at the numbers of people that are playing every day. It's horrible. You go into PvP and it's horrendous. It's horrendous. So I don't know. I can't see that happening. Not that long.
I agree with you, Sharks. Anyone else?
I can guarantee. Well, not guarantee. I'm almost 100% sure that there's still going to be a Crimson Devils this year, because they know how well it did last year. They might even increase their efforts on it. By that I mean add more of a microtransaction-y thing with it. But yeah, everyone liked Crimson Devils last year. Well, not everyone, but quite a lot of people compared to Festival of the Lost. Yeah.
Crimson Devils was a lot of fun. I had a really good time. I played with my son and with Flounder, and both times it was really cool. It was a lot of fun, and I don't know. Maybe that's what the problem for me with Festival of the Lost was, is that the only thing that changed was that you were collecting candy for these worthless sacks of loot. like totally worthless sacks of loot. And so there wasn't anything pushing me there. There wasn't a new game mode. There wasn't a scoring part of a new game mode. It was just, okay, well, here's some stuff that you can buy. Here's your free one. Now go get some candy. Like it just fell flat. It just totally fell flat. I really wish that they would have at least had the same. I really wish they had done the same thing that they did the first time around with those blue masks and that glue. Like that made it fun. That made it to where you could collect all of these blue masks that you wanted, and then you could either let them go or you could buy something to save them. Like there was something pushing me to want to save certain ones. So I don't know. Crimson Doubles, new game type. What's that?
Well, let's think of this also, though. You know, we're not even bringing this up into this equation. What we have seen so far has been exactly the same as far as amount of or quantity of drops and stuff like that. As far as, you know, we had Festival of the Lost last year. We had SRL last year. Let's say that we get Crimson Doubles. So we had Crimson Doubles last year. Okay, Activision in their report told Bungie that they needed more stuff. They were going to lose fans unless they started coming in here and giving us more stuff. Okay, have you seen more stuff? Because I haven't. I've seen the same amount of stuff that we had before. If anything, people are saying that we have less stuff because Rise of Iron was smaller than what we got the year prior. So, you know, if they're going to stay on par with what basically Bungie was told by Activision to bring in more stuff, and they've got two studios that we know of that are working for them, do you honestly believe that they're not going to bring in something else to tide us over? I mean, it'd be really stupid on their part not to, with all the money that they have invested in it. I mean, I know a lot of people, you know, Agrios would be the first one to yell this, oh, well, they're all working on Destiny 2. Well, that's fine and dandy to say, but Activision said that you guys need to start producing more to keep the fan base there. When's that going to happen?
I think that we've already seen it, haven't we? Weren't these outfits designed by that other studio?
But that's not more things for the player base to do. It's the same amount that we had the year before. It's not having more things to buy in Destiny. That's not what Activision said. Activision said you have to produce more content.
Well, the strike scoring is technically more content because it's to get people to chase for something different. Sure, you're doing the same thing that you already did, but you're doing it in a different way.
Yeah. I don't know. Is that enough? Is that enough in Activision's eyes, and is it enough in us as players' eyes?
I sort of feel like there's a read between the lines, or do as I say, not as I do. You know, like everyone on the internet is constantly saying, "Oh, Activision's so greedy. Activision's so greedy." Yeah, they may have said they want people to do more, but don't they really mean they want people to buy more?
Maybe.
I don't know.
I see
They're
what you're
probably
saying.
just salty about Call of Duty.
I don't know. I mean, I totally see what you're saying, and that would go along with even what Jez is saying, is that, well, you know, if you're being able to buy more stuff, but I don't think that just, okay, me maybe that is me reading in between the lines, but there's a lot of people out there that have read the same way. That's putting a shopping list in front of me. Oh, okay, well, you can spend $500 now on all this gear, but, you know, there's not going to be anything else to do. Okay, well, I just spent $500 on gear, and I'm not going to play the game because I've already done everything.
You know, there is also the aspect that I saw Destin Legary tweeted that he was interested. He liked what the Dawning had, and he was interested in some of the stuff, but because his vault was already full, it's literally working against him, because even if he picks up one cool thing that he wants, he has to delete one other cool thing that he's kept. And then I saw the usual people going back and forth. Like I love the people who are all judgy, like, whoa, I've only got like 5 things in my vault. Like, what do you even keep in there? And it's like I understand, and I'm happy for you that you're only using one page of your vault. But some people interact with the world around them differently. Oh shit, oh my God, you're a different person than me. It just so happens that I'm the same kind of person as Destin Legary. We've got a bunch of stuff that and it's I want to and have been much better about deleting things that are probably I'm not going to use. Like I've started cutting stuff out that doesn't meet another level. Like for the longest time that I've been trying to collect one assault rifle from every era in Destiny, because ARs were my thing for the longest time. And so like I want to have one from each time period. Like that meant something to me. And now I've been going through them and seeing, look, I'm never going to use this because it's not the greatest role. And I've just been keeping roles that are really great that I know I'm never going to see again. So it's it's the same thing, like I would probably play more if I had more room to put stuff. And I hate to bring it up because it's this great big joke. Oh, Guardian 1 podcast all about vault space, but really, give me more vault space, and I'll shut up about it.
No, but it's like that with a lot of people. Briar Rabbit, every week on his podcast, more vault space, more vault, and it's like that with a lot of people. I've gotten to the point now where I have. Okay, so I'm looking at my vault right now. Okay, that it's 107 of 108 spots are filled. But I have 10 exotic engrams sitting in there that aren't popped. I have 8 400 helmets that I could infuse into whatever, like 5 gauntlets, 5 chest pieces, and 5 boots. And bonds. I got bonds coming out my butt. I got so many 400 bonds that I was saving that stuff, thinking, oh well, there might be something that I wanted to infuse when SRL drops, which I'm glad I did, because the new gear. But I mean, the gear is dropping for me. It's a little bit different because I am 400. Everything drops at 400, so it's not that big a deal. But I have gotten rid of a lot of my collections. I mean, you can't keep collections because you can't save it. And so I totally understand that. And it's very frustrating. It's frustrating for me because you know how much crap I was keeping before I started deleting everything. I had this set and that set and this set and blah, 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 and it's gotten to the point now that I know that you have to get rid of it because they're not giving us that space. And there are people like you and like Agrios and like Destin and a whole bunch of other people that is why they play the game. So it makes it very, very difficult. What do? Bungie releases this new Dawning event, and we've got a whole bunch of new sets to keep. I at first I was like, oh, this is awesome, because they took the racing set and they combined it with the Jade Rabbit and the other set, and you use ornaments. And I was like, oh wow, I could delete all that stuff. And I deleted it anyways because it wasn't light gear. Now it's light gear, but I was able to delete it all because now I can infuse an ornament into it, and that's basically one set is 3 different sets now for 3 different characters. I mean, that's awesome. But all the other beautiful sets that they have, where the hell are people going to put it? I mean, I technically have room, but other people that have kept their old Iron Banner sets, their Vault of Glass sets, their Crotus sets, I mean, you get to a point you don't have any room anymore. So what's going to happen. I don't know. I don't at this point. I don't see Bungie adding vault space. I know a lot of people want it, but they're doing everything they can to not have vault space, which is why they have all these kiosks. So I think people keep yelling it out like you're going to get hoarse. I don't think you're going to see it. You got to come to a realization that you just got to delete, and it's sad.
Totally, it is sad, and I saw off a lot of gear that just this. It's crazy. Like I knew that this dawning was coming, and I knew there was going to be more stuff that I wanted, and I don't know, for some reason I didn't have the push to delete any of this stuff. But now that it's live, like all day today, I did not run a single race. I did not run a single strike. That's a lie. I tried to do the Nightfall with my dad and my son, and I forgot that they're both hilariously underleveled. And it was just, my dad was pissed. He was like, "Why do these things keep one-shotting me?" Well, you're not really ready for this. And then my son, he's way underleveled. And I just figured that we could kind of push through it. And I did finish one Nightfall. I got invited into a Nightfall by Input Pandora, and just went in and we just kicked its ass, and that's what made me think that me and my dad and my son could do it very easily. Did not get the icebreaker. Very much looking forward to doing the icebreaker, or getting the icebreaker. But yeah, so it's, I don't know. I feel lame, and I feel like a broken record just talking about vault space, but it's just something that my whole world revolves around. And I don't even know how you do it, Sharks. To be perfectly honest, you have played so much more Destiny than me. That means that you had to have gotten so much more pieces of gear, like all of your, even year one Iron Banner.
I can tell you how I do it. I delete it, and Gurufu comes through the door, and she goes, "Oh," because I'm so pissed off because I deleted. Yeah, and it's just like, the game has made me mad because in order to do anything, I had to get rid of it, and it sucks. I mean, it sucks. It sucks.
Like, why does Bungie want us to hate it so bad? Why does Bungie want us to hate Destiny so bad? Because that's what ends up happening. That's what ends up happening when I've deleted all of my raid sets. I've deleted all of my raid sets except for the current raid, because there's like bonuses to carrying the ball, and things like this. But I deleted all my Vault of Glass. I deleted all of the.
But this is why people for the longest time have been talking about your gear should just be skins. Because if that's what it was, it could go into a little tiny file in the very, very back corner of Destiny. It wouldn't take up any space at all.
Something I want to know. You get mad about like deleting all this gear, right? Mm-hmm. So I really want to know why don't you pop those exotic shards?
Because everything I have is 400, and I have every exotic.
Yeah, but you don't want to pop these exotic shards because you want new exotics for when some new content drops that lets you get stuff from exotic shards, right? So you're not popping them so that you have them on storage for that, but at the same time, when you do that, you're lowering the time it takes to get the new exotics then, right?
No,
you're talking about engrams, yeah?
So I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. Okay, so first off, the part of the reason that I have exotics is because I play my 3 coins, and the reason I play my 3 coins is because I want to have something to work for. At the moment, if I don't do that, and I got an exotic this time, why the hell am I playing? Because I don't need anything. Okay, so you're saying, oh well, don't do it because then it won't take up space, but then I won't have anything to work for to play. Now, as far as getting the exotics, I don't save my exotics to get an exotic. I save my exotics so that I can level up fast. And the reason I want to level up fast is because Bungie, all Bungie's fault, put stuff out, put hard mode stuff out, and tell everybody to race. And the only way you can race is if you're high level. So that's actually Bungie's fault. If Bungie, and there's an easy way for them to stop that. One, don't have exotics drop at that light for the new content. Then I wouldn't save it. But
I feel like they learned that with the hard mode dropping, though.
Did they, though? I mean...
I suppose it happened the same day, didn't it?
Yeah, it happened the same day. And the other thing is them, this goes back to, this is a gripe that I and a lot of other people have had for a very long time with how they drop, like, raids. They shouldn't drop the raid 3 days into... They should drop the raid 2 weeks after the new content drops. Give people a chance to go out and enjoy the content and slowly get their gear up, slowly level up. But that's not the excitement for them. They want to see that race. So, but I mean, that's why I do it. And I don't need to do it. Like, I don't need to have 10 400 helmets. I'm sitting on 10 400 helmets. Why? Well, I mean, I don't have a reason. I don't have a reason for it. It's that's my whole point in going in is just to get this loot, and that it just happens that that's the loot, and I'm holding on to the loot now. It's either that or hold on to old gear that doesn't matter, like my Iron Banner Year 1 gear, which now you can get stuff like that back. Or let's go Vault of Glass gear. You can't do anything with that. That light level stuff is pointless. All the Sparrow Racing stuff from last year that was not leveled, why the hell did I keep that for a year? That took up 12 spots, I think it was, or 11 spots just with all that gear. And that was actually it had taken up more because I kept the brown gear originally too, but a few weeks before SRL dropped, I decided to get rid of that. So it's like, yeah, it's the collector in me collects this stuff. What is it I'm collecting now? Now I collect the exotic engrams and I collect the high gear. It's not any better, and it's not, and that's why my vault is full. I want to be able to put something that I've just gotten in there. So I'm just as bad a collector now as I was before. It's just I'm collecting different stuff.
Yeah, I feel like most people almost put themselves in the position to be hurt by the vault space. Like
yes, we do.
Like there's a lot of reason to not keep things and a lot of reason to keep things, and people are super hoardy, really.
Yeah. No, you are absolutely right. Okay, so let's not talk about armor. Let's talk about weapons, okay? Because my weapon vault is completely full too, and I don't have any exotic engrams sitting in there right now. All those exotics are sitting on my characters because I have enough room. Okay, so what is it I have? First off, I have every single exotic 400. Okay, that takes up a lot of room. I don't need to do that. Okay, I could get rid of all that stuff and just have a couple 400 light level things, and then infuse that stuff at later dates when you want to play with that stuff. But then you're talking about having to level it up so you waste motes. So it's easier and more cost effective not to waste that. And that's with somebody that has motes and exotic shards to burn. Most people don't. So like my wife, if she gets a high-end gear, it's going in the vault. She's not going to dismantle it and, I can go back and buy it, because she's not going to be able to do that. Most people aren't able to. Then you're talking about, okay, well, what other kind of crap do I have? Goes back to the collector in me. I have my very first Shadow Price. Do I ever use it? No. It's sitting in the #1 spot on my page. I'm probably not going to use it because that type of auto rifle sucks right now. But I could use that in PvP. Then I have all the burn guns that I got from, like I have Fatebringer and Word of Crota that I could use for burns. Not going to use it. That's too low of stuff. Why am I keeping it? Well, because they were hard to get. I was listening to a podcast the other day, and I don't remember which podcast it was, and they were talking about the foil from Vault of Glass. somebody like got one like the end of year 2. He goes, I'm not deleting that. It's a garbage gun. You can't use that anywhere. But I'm not deleting it because it took me 2 years to get, And so it's the same way with this. I have an Aphrodite spear that I loved. And why would I keep it? I mean, it's I didn't even infuse it to 170. It's 160 light. I could use it.
I would say the primary weapons do have a purpose sometimes, and it's wholly dependent on them adding quests like the Thorn Quest. But that's about it.
Well, and that's it. Like with the Thorn Quest, I just pulled out my Atheon's Epilogue and used it and got my kills super fast. Then as far as other guns, I'm not as bad as Remy is as far as like what I keep. Like, to be quite honest, mostly all I keep is either awesome Iron Banner stuff or my trial stuff. And almost everything else I feel in game is garbage unless I think it's a really, really good gun. But like I have one burn of every shotgun, one burn of every fusion rifle, and etc. And it all just adds up. So yeah, but again, that's part of its collector and part of it's this game makes you collect because at some point you might need to use that specific type of weapon or that specific burn on something. You're muted still.
You say you're not as bad as me, but I got rid of my word. Even though it took me also 2 years to get, I got rid of it. I got rid of all of my raid gear except for the ones from Vault of Glass. Year 1 stuff takes high priority for me just because it was, a brand new game and here's all this stuff. And I mean, I don't know I would ever be able to delete Vision of Confluence. Like what a great piece of gear, but I don't know. I just need more vault space. Let's just have more vault space. You know what I would really like? I love the books. Okay. I'm looking forward to getting a book at every event or whatever and completing the contents of it. I think it would be fantastic if that's how pieces of gear were stored. Like I can go in at any point in time and get the set of Days of Iron armor right out of that book. I wish that there was a Vault of Glass book. I've picked up all this gear. Here it is sitting in this book. If I want it again for any reason, I could just go in and pull it out. But because it's not sitting in my vault, I'm not using any of this stuff, but I have access to it. I checked it off of a list. Like, I think that's really cool.
So what you're saying is, hey Bungie, here's an idea. Make a book for raid scoring. There you go.
There it is. I'll accept it.
Okay, so here I'm going to throw this at you then. What happens when they bring back the old raids to current light levels? And now because you're going to have to go and rechase the gear, right? But you love that gear, so you'll rechase that gear, but you're not going to have room for it.
That's why I said it's all in a book, you just pull it out.
Pull out leveled gear?
Well, it won't be like max level, but you'd be like, I want this gear that I've unlocked in the book. Pull it out all at rank 3, and then...
The other problem you have is that leveling up armor sucks.
It does. Leveling up armor does suck.
It takes 60 motes. Is it 60 or is it 80? Maybe it's 80. 80 motes of light to do one piece of armor.
Well,
I could do that, but I don't know.
You can't use the one piece of armor thing, because if you're doing an entire raid set, then it's going to be 60 for all of them.
Well, that's still a lot of motes of light that people don't have.
Okay.
Well, to fix that, obviously they could just lower the cost, lower the XP needed to put into it, but make it the same as weapons. And other than that, like, I don't know. I wear unleveled gear all the time, like not in purpose to level it up, but I just don't think the perks are so intrinsic that if I don't have them, I'm going to be bad.
No, I agree with you. Okay, in fact, this goes on, and now I kind of might retract a little bit this, because I said this last week. Deej had made a point of saying, oh, SRL gear is going to be, you're going to be able to infuse it up to max light. And I'm sure that there will be people that will go into a raid with just that gear, but I wouldn't recommend it. And I said, well, I'd do that. So I could see that happening, but at the same time, without some of those perks, like the SRL gear, I forgot it has no perks. I mean, you really screwing yourself when you don't go with certain things. It's not that it's not possible. Obviously, Datto shows us that almost anything is possible in Destiny, but it's going in without stuff, especially when it's the same light level as you. I mean, Vault of Glass gear back in the day really helped when you started getting those perks.
I think when I did the Nightfall on my Hunter, I probably was still wearing about half SRL gear because it was just higher light. I'm like, okay, well, I'll just wear that. But I gotta say, SRL has been the best thing for my alts because I have not touched their light level. Because now I can just transfer all that gear over.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's just like
that's
weapons.
really
The only thing that doesn't carry over is the helm and the class item now.
That's really cool. It has been also. I just finally played my Titan for the first time since, I don't know, for the longest time, and it was really nice just to here's a bunch of level 400 gear. It wasn't a big deal. Okay, so I want to move on. I mean, I want more vault space, but talking about it's not going to happen.
Just for those listening at home, you can take a few drinks for your drinking game. Because we hit vault space.
Right, we did hit vault space. I want to know if.
Oh wait! 2 drinks because we also talked about repurposing old raids.
Jez, will you be buying any of those emotes? Any of the new emotes?
I was kind of curious into buying some, but at the same time, I'm not sure if I like the legendary ones. I like the John Cena one. I wasn't a fan of the dances. I think that's it. I liked one of the free ones. I can't remember. Oh, the proposal one. I like that, but that was free, so I didn't have to buy it.
Sharks, will you be buying any of the emotes?
Like I said, I'm a lot more enticed to buy stuff at this point because of what they've done with certain kiosks and stuff. So I haven't put any money down yet. It's Christmas time, you gotta buy Christmas gifts first, but possibly yes.
Gray, are you interested in buying any of those emotes?
Yeah, I'm gonna buy the whole winter set. I'm gonna first get the snowball fight, and then I'm gonna get the sledding down the hill, and then I'll round it off with the snow angel. Those are the 3 that I think I'll get. Oh wait, they didn't make those? Those don't exist? Oh crap. Well, I guess I won't buy any of them then.
Oh, wow.
I was thinking about that Snow Angel one that you're talking about that doesn't exist. I was thinking there's just too much of an opportunity for people to abuse that, like in Crucible. Like if you were to lay down, like where do the hitboxes go?
That'd be awesome.
Right. I'm seriously considering the Tiny Dance. I don't know what it is. I don't know where it's from, but for some reason it just speaks to me. Every time they release new ones, I look at all of them and I think to myself exactly this. I think I wish I could repurpose these other directions on the D-pad so that I could still have my formal bow and then change my dance or change my my clap or whatever. And this is the first time that I've really, really considered changing out that formal bow. I don't think I'm going to do it, but that Tiny Dance is so funny to me for some reason. I don't know why. Also, that Deej's dance is really cool, and that's funny. But yeah, Tiny Dance. I was thinking about buying Tiny Dance. Okay, why don't we why don't we wrap this thing up?
Tiny Dance's Running Man.
The Tiny Dance is the Running Man?
Something to do with Running Man. Running Man challenge? Something. I don't know.
I don't know either, but I want it.
Oh, I wanted to say something I was wrong, but it's been so long I forgot what I was wrong about. I just know that I was wrong about something earlier, so you can ignore something I said about an hour ago.
Okay, well, if it comes to you, let us know. Okay, so this...
I remembered it now that it came to me. Lysander's not dead.
Oh, no?
Apparently, he is a super evil dude.
Interesting. Is he human, awoken, exo, fallen, cabal, other?
Guardian?
Interesting.
Basically, he was a guy that was banished. And he got followers. And they're like, someday he'll return. So basically, I'm thinking by the sparrow, he was a whiny baby, and they kicked him out because he's whining too much.
I like it. Okay, this week at Bungie is actually this year at Bungie, and they list off that people have wanted since the launch of Destiny. They wanted snow in the tower. They posted that stuff about expanding their world, score strikes, icebreakers back, cool things like this. The update's really cool. A couple of things I wanted to read off. The Dawning in SRL 2016, the legendary Dawning class items do not display intellect, discipline, or strength stat values in either their tooltip or details screen. All stat values are applied normally. So I guess you have to figure it out. You have to figure out what's changed when you apply those, or when you wear those things. If the timer expires during an SRL race and no player crosses the finish line, player placings may not be accurately reflected in the post-game activity rewards screen. Vanguard Elite Strike Scoring. The entrapment and warding light medals do not contribute progress toward the Arsenal of Light Vanguard Elite bounty. The Explosive Streak medal does not contribute to the Killing Spree record. The Bounty Hunter record within the Competitive Spirit record book may only be progressed by daily Vanguard Elite bounties offered by the bounty tracker in the tower. Alternate daily and weekly Vanguard bounties do not contribute progress. Momentum Armor from the SRL 2015 record book is not unlocking in the holiday collection for players who have already unlocked this gear. The Memory of Felwintered Iron Lord artifact prevents players from activating their super with the Aegis relic in the updated Nexus Strike on Venus. Patrol activities requiring players to collect items from defeated enemies are not functioning reliably in the Plague Lands. Players may abandon these patrols if enemies are not dropping the expected items. A full list of known issues is in the Dawning Known Issues thread. Movie of the week this week, as Strider predicted, was the Saw Something Weird in the Plague Lands video by Husky Raid. This is a very, very cool video. You know, I think that these are great. I think that this takes a lot of coordination and a lot of planning, and I hope they continue to do these things. Really sweet. The first honorable mention is a drawing process. This Dr. Asanov is basically from the very beginning starting this sketch and turning it into this really, really finely polished art. I think that this should have been the movie of the week, but only because, I don't know, it just looks fantastic and amazing. And the second honorable mention is a PvP montage, which are cool to watch. Like, I always wonder what it looks like from the other side. I don't know. I don't remember who it was, but someone tweeted out that they feel like everybody else's Matador 64 has more range than theirs. And I always feel that same way. And this video is what it looks like on the other side. I don't know how some of these register. I don't know how you're supposed to. How do you learn to drag the sniper scope if you don't know that that's a thing, you know? And I've done it a couple of times, and it's really fun, but I don't know. But yeah, that's it. Sharks, did you have anything that you want to talk about before we go?
The the state of play of PvP at the moment. I just want to bring this up very briefly. We can talk about it at some other point if you want, but I feel that the population of players playing Destiny as a whole is so small right now that it's really, really making it hard to play PvP, especially those of us that are playing things like Trials. It's, it's the end game content. Yeah, fine and dandy. It's supposed to be hard. Bungie has made it, even harder by making people play these top tier people. But then when you don't have anybody else even playing at all for all kinds of different reasons, including just not playing Destiny anymore, makes it very, very frustrating. Velvet Maynard and I, for the past 2 weeks, we didn't even get to 5 wins. I mean, it's just become very, very difficult, and it's very frustrating. And I know with all the changes that Bungie have implemented with PvP as a whole, they obviously they're listening to people, they're trying things, whether we agree with stuff or not. I just hope that they are also listening that, something really needs to be done with this end game content like Trials 2, if you want to get people to play. I mean, we're like that close to losing my fire team. One of the members said he'd rather play Battlefield because it's just not worth the hassle anymore, and I totally understand it. So whether you guys have a comment on it or not, I just wanted to put that out there in the air.
I watched a Clueless Gamer video, which is Conan O'Brien playing video games, and his co-pilot for this episode was Terry Crews. I absolutely love everything that Terry Crews does. I think he's the funniest dude, and I feel like, I don't know, I never saw Idiocracy until just recently. It's 10 years old at this point, and I could have been watching Terry Crews forever because he played Hector Camacho, and I just feel like he's hilarious. And he said to Conan before they started playing that this is the most beautiful thing he's ever seen. This Battlefield is the most beautiful thing he's ever seen. And then they started playing it, and it is fantastic. It looks amazing. Like, it looks so good. It makes Destiny feel like dated as hell, and I love the way Destiny looks. I think Destiny looks outstanding, but Battlefield looks really great. Like, I want to buy it now after just watching this other person play it.
The engine's been great ever since the Star Wars one, Battlefront. Like, just the way that they do textures and stuff just make for really jaw-dropping visuals sometimes.
It's amazing.
I just don't know how the Frostbite engine works.
Yeah, it's fantastic. I don't know what's up with it either, but it looks amazing. What was I gonna say? Oh, so yeah, so it's I don't know. I feel like it's just going to be a steady decline until probably Destiny 2. Like, I think that what we're looking at is there's going to be hardcore people who continue to play it or, pick it up every so often. And, there's just a ton of games out there. I picked up Titanfall too, and it's really cool. It's a lot of fun. Parkour, that's a lot of fun. Grappling hook's a lot of fun. Giant robots are a lot of fun. So yeah, I don't know. Oh man, I wish I was more interested in playing Trials, but yeah, just getting my ass handed to me every single time there's just no fun in that. Like I don't want to be an easy win for somebody who was going to win anyways. Like I will play Iron Banner, I will play other regular PvP, but when you give people the incentive of, I mean, there's really great looking gear in Trials of Osiris. The guns look great. The sights on those guns look great. The perks look great. The ornaments for the gear, for the armor looks fantastic. I'm never going to own any of it because I just don't have that kind of time or effort or interest in. I just don't know. I don't know if I'm ever going to be one of those players. You
You have
know,
to say the most thing was the biggest drawback about Battlefield is while everything looks great, everything also looks the same.
what do you mean?
Like you versus some other dude, the only thing that looks slightly different is you got a different black gun. Like no one looks like, I guess the word would be flamboyant, like Destiny. Like you don't see someone running around with this bright green shader on.
I see what you're saying. I see what you're
So
saying. I feel like that's a pro and a con in
yeah,
Destiny.
it's a pro for visuals. It's a con for individuality.
Right.
I don't
I
even
kind of
think you can change what your character looks like in multiplayer. I can't remember.
interesting. But yeah, I don't know. That's a really good point, Sharks. I kind of want to wrap the show up here. I mean, it's still like 3 o'clock in the morning for Gray. He's still got to go to work tomorrow.
How did he get somewhere in the Atlantic?
Yeah, don't know. Or in the future, really.
Well, it's 2 o'clock here, so
Is there anything that you wanted to talk about before we left, Jez? Anything on your mind, Destiny-wise?
probably the most important thing is the gunsmith is selling cocaitis this week.
Oh my God! I can't believe I forgot that. Meant to put it down on my notepad so we could bring it up. I don't know.
Also, the Suros rocket launcher, the JLB, can roll horseshoes and hand grenades and tracking like a super good PvP rocket launcher.
Excellent. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that scout rifle. I don't know what can roll on it, but you said it was really good, and I know that it's something that I haven't seen in forever.
Well, you have to realize that my favorite type of scout rifles lately have been the high impact Jade Rabbit type, and that's what it is.
Got it.
So
Got it.
yeah,
I'm buying one on each of my characters just so that I can, as soon as one that looks okay shows up, I can purchase that and test it out, because who knows when there's going to be another one again. It's been so long since. I don't know that I've ever seen it on there. Like, I know that I don't check what he has every single week, but I do check what I have every single week. Like, I'm not really interested in picking up any more guns because I have to delete other things. Vault space. But I'm definitely interested in this. I should probably look it up. I might have seen one before, but I'm excited about it. Thank you so much for bringing that up, Jez. I would have gotten back to the tower and been like, no.
One thing that you should look for, if you want it for PvE, especially in this current raid, is look for explosive rounds.
Explosive rounds?
Yeah, explosive rounds, because with explosive rounds you can one-shot shanks.
Oh, that's fancy right there. I'm very interested in that.
Or you could just, go flawless and get the scout rifle from Trials.
Yeah, what's that one called?
I don't know. I wouldn't know because I do not do Trials.
I do not do Trials either. I wish I did, because a lot of that stuff looks really cool.
It is called... No, I do not mean court. Scout. No, the Burning Eye. Burning Eye, yep.
The Burning Eye. Thank you very much, Jez. Okay, well then, I guess that's it. I guess that's our show for this week. I usually like to throw it to Agrios because he's always got a little tidbit here and there, but I think that I read off the things that he probably would have read off. Why don't we do some shout-outs? And then let these poor people go home. Why don't we do some shout-outs, starting with you, Gray?
Shout out this week goes to Michael Salvatore, Sky Lewin, C. Paul Johnson, Rhoda Moav. If I killed those names, I'm sorry. But the composer team for Destiny Rise of Iron, I presume that they're the ones who came up with these 2 new tracks, which we get to enjoy in the tower. And they are really cool. They set the mood perfectly. Remy, you mentioned it earlier in the show. They did a great job, and they deserve certainly more than just a shout out.
I like it. Sharks.
My shout out goes to Gray. I had an absolute great time playing Iron Banner with him. Him and I worked very, very well in Rift, and we should not just wait for Iron Banner to play. Let's play some other things. So my shout out to my podcast host, Gray. Yeah.
Thanks, man.
Excellent. Jez.
I have a double shout out. Double shout out goes. First one goes to Lysander. Hopefully, you'll be the first Guardian that we get to kill for realsies, and not Crucible realsies. And also, whoever in the Destiny team thought, hey, we should probably put light to the SRL gear, because that means I can wear a super sleek, more rogue-like gear on my hunter.
Excellent.
Rather than all this smuggler, I don't want to be Han Solo. Done with that.
That's funny. Okay. I have a double shout out as well. My first shout out goes to Gray. This is his 30th episode with the Guardian 1 podcast, and I had plans of making like a cake and then like showing it to the camera, and it was going to be awesome. And I have a 3 and a 0. It would have been 30 his 30th episode. That didn't happen though, but I really appreciate you coming along on this journey and really helping this podcast continue, because without you, just every week it was like just pulling out what's left of my hair, and that's not fun at all. And then the other shout out is to whoever was in charge of saying, yes, let's put snow in the tower, because it really changes everything. I love the SRL branding all over the tower. I think that looks really great, but having the snow there is like, I don't know, it's just really magical. It's really magical. It looks cool. It feels cool. It changes the world. And it's really unexpected. Every single time I get to the tower, I think, look at all this cool stuff, and I find myself just sitting there enjoying it. So whoever was in charge of that decision, thank you very much. And that wraps up episode 112. We would like to thank everyone listening for tuning in. We hope you enjoyed the show. If you have any suggestions for topics to be discussed on the show, or have any comments on something that has already been covered, please leave them in the comments below or send them to feedback@guardian1.net, and we will see you next week.